everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, just welcome. Today I'm going to do the final part of this little picture. We are going to do the background. So for those that follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that I did a little poll in my stories where you guys got to vote for the kind of background you wanted, and everyone wanted the Polychromos and the Bokeh background. Oh, not everyone, but nearly everyone. So that's what we're going to do today. God help me. So what I'm going to show you today is just a small snippet of it, because this took me hours and hours and hours. So I'm going to show you a fairly small part, but everything is literally just a repeat of exactly what I'm doing, just all over the page. If you want, and you want to save yourself a little bit of time, by all means go ahead and make an inner frame on this picture, just so you don't have so much to cover. If I'd thought about it, I would have done that, but I just didn't think, and I just went ahead and did the whole thing. I think it took me something like 6 hours to cover the whole thing, and I'm a little bit sick of green. So today I'm using 3 different shades of green as well as a Naples yellow. So my green tones that I'm using is the current one I'm using now, which is the May green. I'm also using the earth green yellowish and the permanent green olive. I am also using a Derwent Blender Pencil a little bit, just to try and get the layers that are relatively sort of fine, to get them to stand out a little bit more. Now, one of the other things I also did, but I did it off camera, was those last little lines that I had left on the pot itself. I did those in just a gold Posca pen. I did mention that when we did colour in the pot, that I was going to do that in gold, but I wanted to wait until I was finished because I didn't want to accidentally smear it around. I also finished off those last 3 little flowers down the bottom left, and I just did those in the same colours that I did the blue violet-y hydrangeas up the top. Now, the part I'm doing right now is extremely repetitive. It is literally covering your entire page in the May green. That is all I'm doing at the moment. So I have gone ahead and sped out sort of part of it. I've only done it double time, so you can bring it back down again through your YouTube settings if you want. But literally just go ahead and just cover your whole page in this May green. So my page is now covered. I'm going to go ahead and start all of these little circles. So I'm going to go in with my earth green yellowish, and I'm going to start just mapping out some little circles here. I'm going in very light, and then I'm going to go ahead and just sort of gently color in just the area around it and just fade it out into that May green. So I'm not going out too far, I'm just sort of fading it out, but just so that you can still see that there is a bit of a circle there. just going to quickly show you how you can blur the outline a little bit. So just go back in with the May green and just go very gently over that edge, just if you feel that that your circle is a bit too sharp. So, but obviously if you go in really light, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can also use like a blender medium and do some of this as well. So I'm back now with my earth green yellowish again. You can also go on top of some of the layers that you've done already. So I'm going to keep going with the same color, and I'm going to make like a little circle just here on top of some of the earth green yellowish already. So I'm just adding an extra layer so you can still kind of see. It's just that it's the same color, but it's just more saturated. And as we're building up the layers here, so I'm just going to go up. The darkest I'm going to go today is using the permanent green olive. You can go darker if you want to, but what I'm doing is essentially then, as I'm going darker, I'm layering these, I'm putting these little circles on top of the other layers that I've already just put down, if that makes sense. So the darker the circles become, the more into the background they go. So the lighter circles look like they are popping sort of out from the front, and then you have these slightly more muted circles a little bit further back, and it gives a little bit more of a depth to that background. Going in now on my permanent green olive, and I'm going to go in on some of these earth green yellowish layers that I've already put down. Again, I'm adding a very faint circle, and then I'm fading the color out and blending it into the earth green. So it gives sort of a really nice sort of blend, and it kind of looks like you have some sort of maybe like a leafy kind of background that with the sun sort of shining through it. You have some different shades here and there. We're also going to add in, as I mentioned at the very start, some Naples yellow as well, just to sort of yellow things up a little bit. Especially want to do this around the leaves, just so they don't fade into the background too much. But I just want to give it a little bit more of a, even more of a light source that's more golden as well, and it works really well with these sort of yellow toned green colors. with my Naples yellow now. I'm adding it to a few of these sort of lighter green areas, sort of where I haven't necessarily put too many layers on yet. It might just be one layer of that initial May green, and that's a really good spot to add a little bit of this yellow. You can also add a little bit of yellow on some of these little circles as well if you want to. we're pretty much at the spot where I want to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the picture sort of off camera. I'll show you a couple of little progress things. I'll also show you a little bit how I use the Derwent Blender Pencil. So let's see where I'm up to. So here you go, I've sort of started moving my way out to the left hand side. As you can see, I've still got a fair way to go there and adding some more circles in between, especially some little ones. I just wanted to show you how you can use this blender pencil. I'm sorry that's blurring out a little bit, but that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm literally using that blender pencil to blur out the little outlines a little bit, just to make it a little bit softer and a little bit smoother. And you can also use that blender pencil sort of in between, so on all of these little layers you can add that down, and that will help remove some of that white tooth and just blend together and make your colors a little bit sort of brighter and sharper. Now I'm just going to zoom out a little bit and show you where I'm at, and then I'm just going to finish off the whole rest of it and I'll give you the final reveal. So this is sort of where I'm up to at the moment. At this point I really wanted to poke my pencil in my eye and reevaluate my life choices, but here is the final reveal and I am happy with how it looked. But will I do a bokeh background on such a huge piece of paper? No, I don't think so. I think I'll probably do a smaller one. But I hope you have enjoyed following along and learned some little tricks. There are so many different ways of doing the bokeh backgrounds, and this is just how I do mine. So I thank you all so much for following along today. I hope you did a slightly smaller piece than what I did. I wish you all a colourful day, and I will see you again next time.